when we talk about girls in sport, we talk about your netball, your swimming, your athletics, but quietly and powerfully, something extraordinary has been happening here in baseball. A talented and very determined group of young women have been building women's baseball almost from scratch. There are limited resources, as you might imagine, little visibility, and certainly no guaranteed funding, and yet they've trained, competed and represented the country really based on belief and grit and self-funding and hard work. And they're winning and they're growing and they're proving that they belong. This year, though, they may be facing their biggest challenge yet, which is to secure the funds to see some of our best young women players taking part in the Baseball for All event, which is happening in Rockford, Illinois in the US. It's the largest girls baseball event in the world, hosted in the historic home of the Rockford Peaches in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. And it's a global stage, and it's welcomed girls from the US, Canada, Australia, France, Mexico, South Korea, and now, we hope, from South Africa. And while there, players and coaches will also witness the Women's Baseball World Cup qualifiers, really offering a rare glimpse of where the sport can take them. With a professional women's league, baseball league, launching in the US, the pathway to elite baseball has never been clearer, especially for our young players who are really shaping the future of the national team. But the reality is, it's talent alone isn't going to get them there. It's a familiar story. Travel equipment, training costs remain high, and a barrier. The girls are doing everything right. The girls, and I've seen them playing, they're doing everything that they need to be doing, but they can't do it alone. I'm delighted that joining us today are three people at the heart of this movement. Head coach for the under 15 girls baseball in South Africa, Zulfah Stellenboom. We've got Hayley Scott, who's coming from Joburg, who's head of women's baseball and has been really driving development on the ground. And one of the most promising young players, 15-year-old player, Boston Benjamin, one of the young athletes, really just showing how far our girls can go when given the chance. So let's get into it. Zulfah, I'm going to start with you. What did girls baseball, women's baseball in South Africa look like when you first got involved, and what does it look like now?
I think for me, so hi everybody, hi Ishja, hi everybody. So for me, I think just to get into it, I played baseball at a very young age, and it didn't take that much flight because we had to change to softball. But then when I got involved again, the landscape changed. When I got involved in the Western Cape, it was still a long way coming. We had an under 18 team, not much seniors, and very few under 15s. But since 2022 and partnering up with Gauteng Baseball, we've been able to go to the National Baseball Championships. We now in Western Cape have an under 15 team, under 18, as well as a senior team. I think from a baseball perspective, girls have now been welcomed within the clubs within Cape Town, but there's still a lot of drive that needs to go behind it, and the sport is growing not just globally but locally as well, and girls are enjoying it so much, which you'll hear later from Boston as well. So this is something that is a hidden gem, and it's going to be blowing up really, really soon.
I mentioned that it's traditionally been seen as a boys' sport, although I don't know if anyone's, I'm going to age myself horribly now, remember what's the movie A League of Their Own?
A League of Their Own.
With Madonna. I want to say Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes.
Have I made that up?
Yeah.
No, right. There's no crying in baseball.
Yes.
There is this idea that it's traditionally boys, but girls really doing the thing. But when you first got involved, is there that perception that the attitudes, the barriers perhaps that you encountered, and are those perceptions slowly shifting?
Yes, definitely. So yes, when we started, it was seen as a boys' sport, and you had the few girls that played within a boys' team. But now it's definitely a perception. I think the idea is that it's the girls are not enough. They don't have the strength. They're not strong enough. But it shows now, because now that it's on a world stage, there's higher standards, professionalism, there's coaching. It's seen as a pathway that you can now have as an elite athlete, a career within sport as a female. And I think as an African country here in South Africa, we're leading the pack. And I think just to be able to go to America is going to give us that stage globally to show where the talent that we have. And I can tell you, our talent is absolutely amazing, from under 15 level all the way to our seniors.
So let's speak to some of that talent. Boston Benjamin is in studio with us this morning. Boston, how did you first get into baseball? What do you love about it? What made you fall in love with it?
I started off with softball in primary school and going into high school. And it was my favorite sport to play. I loved it like a lot. But it got to a point where I was at a certain level and I wasn't improving, and I started losing the love for the sport based off of the atmosphere I was around. And last year, September, my dad gave me an opportunity to try out for baseball, for a baseball club in Boeresig, and I went, tried out, and immediately fell in love with the sport. It was like remembering why I originally started, and it was just perfect. Like the people, the coaches, my team, everyone was just made me feel like that was the place I was supposed to be. And
so Zulfah mentioned that a lot of people, we've talked about this, still see it as quite a boys' game, and the idea that the girls can't hold their own against the boys. I get a sense that you definitely can hold your own against the boys. Why do you want to change that perception, Boston?
I mean, I think it goes for all women's sports. Women get doubted almost every day with it. And there's this perception that women are, like Coach Zulfah said, too weak or too sensitive. And baseball also being quite a mental game, I've seen girls do a lot of things that you wouldn't expect. Even physicality, I've seen girls hit with a 120 kilometers per hour fastball and walk it off. But I just want to make it known to most women that that you can, with the right mindset, you can honestly do anything.
Yeah. You train alongside boys, right?
Yes, I do.
And how does that work?
It's
Are they intimidated by you?
I mean, I'd have to ask them, but we're all on the same sort of level, in my opinion. I mean, you do get your different people who have better skills than others or different specialties, but training with them, I've opened up to like a lot more of a competitive side to the game, a lot more intensity. It's like a whole new perspective, but I love it. And as hardcore as it is, I think it's a good experience for
What
us.
would it mean to you to get to go to the US in June for the Baseball for All event? Beyond the excitement of travel, what would it mean sort of longer term, the opportunities that perhaps it might bring you?
It's something I've wanted to do since I was like young, and to even get the opportunity to go overseas and to do something that I love it's insane to even think about. Like it's
the dream.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's emotional.
Very, very.
What does a normal training week look like for you?
Sure, that's a whole nother story. I would say it's very, very low chances that I get off days, but it's like Mondays, like strength and explosives. Tuesdays, cardio, running. Wednesdays, I have my baseball practice. Then I think Thursdays would be the only day I get a break from it all, and then Fridays I've got baseball again. Saturdays we've got our games, and Sundays I've got CTBF training with the women.
Who pushes you harder, your coach or your dad?
Definitely my dad. That's not even an option. As hardcore as my coaches are, and as much as they want to see me improve, I think my dad's always been the hardest on me, but in a way that he knows my potential and he wants to see me succeed.
Yeah, for sure. Hayley, welcome. Good to have you with us. Listen,
Thank
the Baseball for All it's considered the biggest girls' baseball tournament in the world. What does an opportunity like this mean for our young players, especially those like Boston here in the Western Cape?
I think one of the thanks for having me, first of all. I think one of the biggest challenges we have across Africa is getting exposure because of the cost implications we face. Baseball for All historically has been driven by Justine Siegel, who has basically been driving women in baseball from when she took the field, and studied because she had some barriers thrown her way as a head coach and as a player. She made those opportunities available for girls. So it's been her vision and her mission to get as many girls together annually to basically celebrate women. And everything around the Baseball for All championships is about making sure women understand they're empowered. They can do anything that any man has been able to do for them in baseball before. And most importantly for us, there's over 55 teams that celebrate this event annually. So for our girls to be seen there and to be showcased there, for me is the dream at certainly at Boston's age, because ultimately the Women's Pro League launches this year, and the sooner those children get seen and those ladies get seen at that level, the sooner they can have that exposure that they deserve.
What does that look like going forward? Because it's again, like I said to Boston, it's exciting to think about the immediacy of it and what it means now and getting to the States. But the long-term goal for the sport, what does an opportunity like this look like for generations to come after Boston, the next Bostons and the ones after that?
I think the challenge we've always had with baseball in general is about the process of starting from the bottom and getting to the top. As Zulfah mentioned, we had to start somewhere, so we tended to start at the top and we've worked our way down. But the most exciting thing about our under-15 program being able to go to Uganda and showcase themselves in Africa last year was about the fact that we now have something. We have a program, a process, we have development arms, the whole...
There's momentum already.
There's a whole program, which I think before was just a team. This is not just a team anymore. This is a process. And this group of young ladies, I'm getting goosebumps talking about Uganda because I was blessed to be able to go there as a support mechanism and to see the growth and to see how talented they are. And we had a young lady that traveled back from America because she was South African, has moved back home. When she saw her team and compared her team to what, would be on the Baseball for All stage, it's just created a super excited space because it's opening up new avenues that our girls would never have a chance to be a part of.
That excitement from all three of you is palpable. You can tell how passionate you are about the sport, and I'm picking up on that, and our listeners will be too. The issue, of course, comes obviously back to funding, and that is something that we find across all sports, that there is simply not enough funding in this country for sport. And so what now? The idea that we ask for handouts gives a bitter taste in the mouth, but it's not about that, is it? It's about the support. It's about supporting talent. It's about feeding that young talent. Zulfah, what's needed? What would get our girls to the US?
So I think just firstly, baseball is a self-funded sport. It's not of the top six. So this is a challenge that we have as a code with the sport. I think it's for us, we're looking for from a woman's perspective, just for sponsors to get on board from a longevity side of things, because this is something that's going to create pathways, and we're looking for somebody to partner with us in a way that they can watch us grow, they can invest in us, they can invest in our girls in any way possible, because the sport is that broad. We do need as much possible, and it's not just funding. We just want to get the word out there. We want to empower girls. I can get into a whole how important sport is just on a life skills perspective, and we want to create that opportunities for those girls so that they're able to see that with this type of sport and with the type of funding, how we can grow within South Africa. I think I just get passionate about it every time I think about it. But just to have a program like the ladies with the soccer, have the ladies with the netball, something that we were able to filter through and just be able to create that pipeline for years to come.
So then, Hayley, in terms of getting and how many girls are we talking about? Do we know? Do you have a figure? Is it a case of do they have to? How are you deciding who gets on a plane and who doesn't? Because that's a difficult decision.
Yeah, so we've got a really big youth program. It starts from 13 and goes right through. Well, this particular age group goes right through to the age of 15. We've also got some girls that are fringing in the under 18 program. So ultimately, if we really had the dream or the wish, the Disney movie, as it were, we want to take 60 athletes with us, because then we can really showcase our whole talent pool at the youth level. We do have a selection process that is being monitored and measured. Ultimately, we know it's a new program, but we are trying to be consistent with that, so girls also know that when they do get evaluated, there are standards that are being set, at the same time as we don't want to leave anyone behind. So we do have a number of young athletes and families that will really struggle to make this possible financially. And so we're trying to do everything we can to make sure that isn't the barrier.
What would be your message to potential sponsors, to potential corporates who I know are listening, and I've sat in this seat for long enough to know that stories like this resonate. People want to help. People might not necessarily. It's about bringing awareness. So what would your message, Hayley, Zulfah, to you too as well, be to those people who are listening and now who think, this is an area of social responsibility we might like to get involved in. This is an area of sponsorship we might like to get involved in. Is it as simple as here's a pot of cash? Is it a promise to stick with you for the future and assist, as you mentioned, Zulfah, from a longevity perspective? What is it?
I think for me, the most important thing is that we want to give the brands that do partner with us an opportunity to partner with us and actually to showcase them. I've been very blessed to work with all the athletes at all different age groups, and I know that we've got a really great professional group of women, both from seniors right down to juniors, about carrying the brands that would be potentially with us. There's obviously a number of opportunities that we would like to expose our athletes to, and we want to make sure that that's done in a structured way. And ultimately, at the moment, it's a little bit ad hoc because we have to wait until what we can afford, where we can go. And we want it to be something that doesn't have, I don't want to say a rands and cents value because it's got nothing to do with rands and cents. This is life-changing. The game changes lives, as Boston's already said, but it's life-changing. And Zulfah will remember a moment when the women's team first came together for the very, very first time. And the ladies shared their why. Like, why was it so important for them to be part of this program? And I don't think there was a dry tear in the room. So I think we do know the power it can have on a woman's life and a sports life, but it's also going to be a tool that a company that partners and gets involved will definitely be valued, and we will be able to show value.
Boston, for you, any anxiety about competing against girls from countries maybe where baseball is more established? I feel like I know the answer. You're giving me that look. It's like, no, not worried.
Oh no, 100%. I would say 100% worried. I mean, but it's not more of a worry. It's. I'm obviously nervous, but it's really exciting to get to play with other girls that also have the same passion and have been working for, because like you said, baseball like in the US is like a really big thing, and to get the opportunity to play against girls at that good of a level would be really good for us, like winning or losing, even though obviously the goal is to win. But I mean, it's a really big opportunity, and I think it would be really good for us to play against that kind of level.
Who's your team?
Boston Red Sox.
Stupid question. Can you? What's the goal for your own baseball career?
Well, that's a big question, but I mean, obviously, it's something I want to be doing for like the rest of my life, for as long as I can. Like, imagine, it's something I'm really passionate about, something that's been with me since I was like I said, like younger, not specifically baseball, but like sports, but now obviously specifically baseball, because it's like it's the biggest part of my life, and I want it, like it's always been my go-to whenever, like, you know, like happy or sad or whatever. It's baseball's always been the one thing that I run to, and to be playing the sport that I love for the rest of my life is just, whether it's at a big level, because obviously I want to be playing in like major leagues one day if the women start to develop a bit more, but which it is, but it would be something I'd like to do for the rest of my life, regardless of the level I'm at.
And that's passion.
Yeah.
That's passion for sport, isn't it? That's passion for the thing.
It definitely is. I think with Boston's age, I think Hayley and I chatted about this the other day, and we were saying, what's the difference between our under 15 girls and our under 18s? And because they are developing at a younger age, we're seeing that they're a lot more fearless. So that is just amazing. And I think with our Uganda tour, interacting with our under 15 or under 16 girls, they've just become technically stronger. They've become mentally tougher. They've become more aware of what the global opportunities are. And the for them now is like, it's not what game are we playing next, it's where we're going, what tournament we're playing next. And I think that is such a massive game changer. And I think Hayley and myself have been within the sport, softball and baseball, for a very long time, and we definitely onto something. And if we can put our girls on that global stage, for them to be able to get scholarships overseas, be able to grow the game and bring that back here is just such a massive dream, but it's like we can touch it at this point. So I think listeners can hear how passionate we are about this, and I think Hayley and I and the wider Women in Baseball Commission is ready for this to blow up. And whoever does partner with us, it's about creating that partnership, that pipeline, and getting that return on investment through all of the girls that are coming through this program.
The stage is set, folks. It's happening. Let's get our girls to the States and beyond. If you would like to get in touch, well, how can people reach you, Hayley? With their bags of money. How does that happen?
Obviously, we are through the South African Baseball Union webpage. They can contact us through there. All of our contacts are there. Otherwise, women@sabaseball.co.za. They can email me. We'll send it out to all the contact people that need to be working on the scenes, and we will get back to them almost immediately.
Let's do it.
certain
If
of
you're
that.
a brand, if you would like to partner, if you're a sponsor, please, if what you've heard has moved you today, if you have heard the passion from people like Boston, Hayley and Zulfah, do please get in touch with them. Good luck and see you in the US.